I don't know about you, but lately we are facing a lot of manufacturers, speaker manufacturers that are changing a bit directions. We are seeing more and more technically impressive speakers with a slightly brighter top end. Speakers that deliver, yes, great results, but often demanding a more forgiving setup to truly shine. But what about the Sonus Faber? Well, they always follow their own established path. An approach built around natural sound reproduction, avoiding unnecessary risks. It's a sound that is worked, is loved, and you can't go wrong with it. So are you ready? Because today we are going to speak about the new Sonetto series, the new generation, the G2. Let's dive in. The Sonus Faber Sonetto line was introduced as a more accessible alternative to the company higher end Olimpica and Homage series, designed to bring Sonus Faber signatures and Italian aesthetics to a wider audience without compromising quality. And like the first generations, the new one, the G2, also includes a smaller bookshelf, the G1 that we are going to review today, a bigger one, the G2, Sonetto 2, G2. Then we have some floor standing speakers like the Sonetto 3, 5 and 8. But not only, we also can find center channels and on-wall speakers, making it a really versatile lineup, not only for your hi-fi but also for your home theater. Sonus Faber are redesigned the iconic U-shaped cabinet, incorporating improved driver technology, originally developed for the Suprema flagship systems in the larger Sonetto 5 and 8. Additionally, the entire Sonetto G2 lineup benefits from upgraded crossovers, enhancing overall performance. And I really never seen a level of craftsmanship at this price point. The concrete base not only adds stability and solidity, but also functions as part of the front-firing baseboard. From the engraved logo on the top to the meticulous detailing around the drivers, every element feels incredibly refined. In my opinion, is visually one of the most beautiful speakers, bookshelf speakers out there. An unmatched designs, exactly what you had expect from us companies like Sonus Faber. Sonetto G2 is available in 3 finishes, and I choose the piano black one, which I find the most striking, but also the most frustrating. Dust settles on it instantly, and under direct light, small scratches can become actually visible. If that's a concern, I highly recommend to choose a different finish. By the way, it looks amazing in black. It's nice to see that despite being fully made in Italy, the Sonetto G2 maintains a similar retail price worldwide. And this makes it a strong value proposition, especially when compared to other brands. For example, take a look of the just reviewed Focal Aria Evo X #1 that have a higher price, unfortunately, in US. Comparing the new generations with the older one, both generations of the Sonetto 1 shares key specifications like front bass, reflex port, 4-ohm nominal impedance, 1.1 inch DAD tweeter, though the midwoofer size is being reduced from 5.9 inch to 5 inch, if I'm not wrong. So trading some bass depth for improved treble extensions. The new frequency response, 52 Hz to 40 Hz, extends higher than the previous 45 Hz to 25 kHz. And this is also clearly visible in my in-room measures with Room EQ Wizard and UMIC 1, where the Sonetto 1 G2 in red is compared to the Sonetto 1 G1 in blue. As always, I take measures after I complete all my review and test, and I have to say that fortunately everything I perceived during my listening sections, I can see it also in the measures. I almost forget to speak about the magnet grills, really beautiful, really light, really small, and their removal makes a noticeable difference. Without them the speaker sounds more open and airy. You can see the impact in the measurements. Red represents the response without the grills and blue with them attached. Another useful measures is toe-in versus no toe-in. From the listening positions, with full toe-in in red, the response remains more neutral and extended above 4 kHz, while still preserving an intimate and natural presentations on instruments and vocals that are never forward. However, toe-in that influence also the soundstage width, which is not particularly expensive in this speaker. And I found that simply spacing them further apart helped open things a little bit up. The Sonus Faber remains harmonically very rich, especially on the mid-range, yet always very natural. The bass is fast, punchy and well-defined, never excessive. And while the smaller woofers can't reach infrasonic, the Sonetto 1G2 still performs better and feels subwoofer free compared to the just reviewed Focal Evo X1, for example, which I found quite basslight in my room. Also, the front bass reflex is completely invisible compared to it. Focal, please take notes of this. The overall tonal balance is excellent with bass, mids and treble blending seamlessly together. The hikes are refined, but this is not an overly airy or clinical speaker. And what I love that I can enjoy it at any volumes for also long listening sections without any signs of fatigue. As I mentioned earlier, the mid-range is very stable, centered perfectly between the speakers, never aggressive and with excellent tonal accuracy. Having owned very more expensive Sonus Faber speakers like the Serafino Traditions, I can confidently say that while the Sonetto 1G2 doesn't reach the same wow mid-range performance, it still managed to surprise me, especially when paired with Class A amplifier, something that I was not expect, like the Musical Fidelity A1 or the Master Sound 220 tube amplifier, also made in Italy in triode mode. That is delivering just 10 watt per channel, and both amplifiers hadn't any problem to drive correctly the Sonetto 1G2. But more important, they put a smile on my face while listening to my favorite artists. And when I played K. Jarrett, the Colne concert, I was completely immersed. This album is a journey of passions for me. And the Sonetto 1G2 really deliver every emotions beautifully. Another major advantage of the Sonetto 1 compared to 90% of the speakers now available on the market today is that I didn't have to worry about finding the right matching amplifier. Every amp I tried worked incredibly perfectly. The Musical Fidelity M5SI delivered detailed and dynamic presentations. Audiolab 7000A had a warm low end, a lighter mid-range and an airy treble. Name XS3 produced dense and creamy, highly musical sounds. And this means whatever amplifier you already own will likely work flawlessly with the Sonetto G2. A feature that shouldn't be overlooked. I often see reviews without direct comparisons, and honestly, what kind of reviews are these? If you agree with me, please leave a comment in the comment sections down below. And first comparisons, we have the Sonetto 1G1, even though the previous generations was simply called Sonetto, and here the differences become clear in a side-by-side test. On the bass, the G2 has a tighter, more controlled bass, while G1 sounds looser and less controlled in comparisons. On the mid-range, the G1 is a bit raw, where the G2 offers a more smoother and richer presentation. Moving on treble, the G1 presenting a more lively and open sound, with a level of nuance that actually I enjoyed. That said, there are not dramatic differences. G2 is clearly a better speaker, but if you already own the G1, I don't see a strong reason to upgrade, unless you simply want the latest model, which, let's be honest, is always something tempting. Another comparisons in a similar price range is with the Buchardt S400 MKII, that is also my reference bookshelf speaker around 2 grand. And I have to be honest, this one hurts a little bit, because the Buchardt is one level above of the Sonetto 1 G2. A speaker that sounds as a great bookshelf speaker, but the S400 MKII feels like a floor stander disguised as a bookshelf. It reminds me this 80s movie Vice Versa, where a grown man suddenly finds himself trapped in a kid's body.
I've been up since 6 and I have a very tough day ahead.
I wish I could change places with you.
Well, I wish I could too.
As Marshall Seymour is about to become his 11-year-old son, Charlie.
Awesome!
S400 MKII scale, size, depth, soundstage is incredibly superior. Looking at the measurements, the S400 MKII not only extend into the subsonic range, but also outperforms the Sonetto in dynamic soundstage, width and imaging. It's more transparent, more detailed in the highs, and deliver a massive sense of scale. When I placed them side by side, I honestly couldn't believe it. And if you are wondering how a speaker like that can be such superior, well, the magic lies in the Buchardt direct sales models, which allows for higher end components, especially in the crossover. Just look at what Buchardt has achieved. Pretty unfair, right? However, be careful that the S400 MKII is far more demanding when it comes to amplification. I had to pair it with the Name SuperNate 3 to get the best out of it. And even my Macintosh MC312 with more watts 300 didn't do a better job. So while power alone isn't enough, the right synergy is crucial. Also, the Buchardt has a more minimalist design, something that you may like it or not. Where the Sonetto 1, the Sonus Faber in general remains more sexy and appealing as design. In the end, what I think about the Sonetto 1 G2. In my opinion, Sonus Faber design is second to none. The craftsmanship is stunning. I love that it is the speaker that is adapted to the amplifiers and not the other way around. Unlike some competitors, it doesn't suffer from basslight issues like focal or sibilance problems like the 705 S3 that we also reviewed from Bauer & Wilkins. It sounds great at any volumes, is easy to drive, making it a great choice. For me, the Sonetto 1 G2 is absolutely a pass, highly recommended from MedAudio. But stay tuned, because we are going to complete, as I said, my home theater with the new generation. The Sonetto Center G2 is coming, Sonetto 5 G2 is coming, and Sonetto 2 G2 also is coming to compare to with the Sonetto 1. So if you are interested, please hit the like buttons if you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comment sections down below. Take in consideration to subscribe to support my channels. Guys, I'm here for you. See you soon.